Okay.
Awesome. We have Sandra here. Where do you live, Sandra?
Hi, I live in Santa Cruz, California.
Awesome. Beautiful area. I'm just
And
north of you in Redding at the moment. So Sandra, tell us what was going on with you before the magic wand showed up, and what you've experienced so far.
what's been going on with me? I do have 2 artificial discs in my low back that I've had for like 17 years. And I got some relief with frequency device. And so I wasn't so concerned about that, but I'm getting up there and I've got stuff going on.
Sure.
So I just wanted to try it, and I know Chinese medicine, so I was working the different meridians, and like I'd really like a facelift, but I can't afford one. So
Yeah.
I think it's really helped. I have issues here, something called malar edema.
Oh,
and I think it really made a noticeable difference right away. Not that it's
how long did it take for you to see that?
Gosh, less than a week.
Very cool. Now, so do you blow it on high right in that area? Do you close your eyes? How long?
Oh, that's the other thing. I had my eyes have been strained from being on the computer so much.
Yeah, me too.
And so I was reluctant to aim it at my eyes because I'm really not into microwaves, and I'm really green and careful about all this stuff, but it's something in my gut said it was okay. So I made circles around my eye and up and out. And I saw the photograph of those Oriental women too, how they did half of their face, and you could see it really tightened up one half. So, I still got a ways to go, but I noticed within a week, this really went down. This was what bothers me the most. And it is tightening up. And also my eyes don't feel as dry and tired as they normally do.
I think that's one of the benefits I felt I got. It's like, I think this is really, and in fact, maybe you previously used the same frequency device I did, but I feel that the 2 combined are going to be super synergistic.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Always love doing that. Now, you said you had some dental stuff that.
Yeah. So I will. Okay. So I'm going to try and make this story brief, but I got an implant years ago, which at the last moment they told me that it had that they used cadaver bone. And I was like, no way, I don't want cadaver bone in my mouth. And they're like, oh, we sterilized it, it's okay. And I'm like, ew. And, they did it. And so I was like, this is not okay. And it seems like it never really cemented in there. And I would go to my dentist and, ask her, and she's like, well, it doesn't seem like it's really any, but that side of my palate would swell up from time to time. And I was like, oh man, this is not okay. There's something going on up there, some kind of long-term chronic infection that could affect my brain and stuff.
Yeah, that stuff sneaks up on you.
Yeah, dental infections. So it was really bothering me. And I called a dentist and I said, I want this thing out of my head. And they're like, well, come on, and maybe you just need the new crown part or something. I said, you don't get it. I want this thing out of my head. And when they went to take it out, and I'm kind of private, my whole body went into this like a tremor and everything. It was so outrageous when it came out.
Yeah.
And then over time, I still was going, I don't know if I need, because I hate taking antibiotics. I don't know if I need more antibiotics or do something, because I don't want there to be like bone loss in there from some long-term pathogen.
Yeah.
So it always really bothered me. So the first time I used the wand, that spot swelled up and I got these little tiny blisters that popped like salt water.
Interesting. I have a very similar story. I have a lot of dental issues here. I was like, something's going on here, and I feel a little bit of swollen lymph. And I would just do the wand here. I'm like, something's shifting. And then I got almost a canker sore. Like it was like my body's getting rid of something from that area from doing the wand. Yeah, very interesting. Cool.
Yeah, and now it feels really tight and sucked up, and I'm so thrilled. Like for that alone, I will always love.
Oh yeah, because otherwise you're going to the dentist, and who wants to do that? And pricey, like crazy, Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. That's a great story.
You're welcome.
Again. Awesome. Well, here I am with my very persistent friend Ricky. It's like, Steve, you need it, you need it, you need it. And you're like, oh, you're fine. If you leave me alone, I'll buy the stupid thing. So glad I did. I'm a sucker for devices. I knew I would buy one eventually. I'm like, I will eventually buy that, I'm sure. I'm glad I did sooner than later, right? So
Yeah.
you got some stories.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Tell me.
They never stop. They never stop. Every day people call me. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
But
my
own personal story is that my sponsor kind of twisted my arm to get this device. And, after he did, I was really happy, but, when I first got it, my mood wasn't that great. I was kind of going through some depression and stuff. And so it was like 4 weeks ago yesterday that I got the device, and I started using it on myself. And after my first session, I went to lay down, and all of a sudden, like about 5 minutes later, I jumped out of bed and I'm like, this is really weird. Something shifted, something changed, like almost like somebody just turned the light switch back on.
Ooh, I love it.
And it was like, wow, so I went and sat on my couch, and all of a sudden I feel there's like something moving inside my body, like something's waking up, some kind of cells are tingling, and I'm feeling some light, and I'm feeling that this light inside me is connected with this light outside me, and there's no separation. I mean, it was like huge, So I called up my sponsor, William, and I said, William, this is crazy, man. And they couldn't believe, like, night and day. I was like, literally, my life shifted in one session.
Click. Wow.
Click. It was like, wow. So I called up William, and I said, William, this is crazy. I can't believe how I feel. I'm going to sponsor 100 people. And this was like, and I've sponsored 40 so far. So I'm on my way to 100.
Yeah. Good job. I'm trying to keep up with you.
I mean, so the next day I woke up, and I normally was waking up with a lot of discomfort in my lower back and my right hip. And I woke up the next day, and I kind of I said, wow, I feel like super different, like I was like 85% improvement. And then I went down, and then I felt my legs, and I was usually have poor circulation in my lower legs, usually get cold, and they're like warm. And I'm like, and this is like, 9 o'clock in the morning, and William's in Colorado. So I get on the phone, I'm trying to reach him. William, you got to hear my story. You got to hear my story. You got to hear my story. And finally I woke him up out of bed, and we talked, and I said, this is crazy. I can't believe it. And then 2 days later, I noticed that when I was going urinating, to the bathroom, that it was stronger. The whole thing, men go through the process. And I pointed it a lot in my prostate area, And then, lots of other things, a lot of personal couple things that about. But yeah, it just totally changed my life. But what I felt like that, it's like everything I've done in my life until now led to this moment. That this product, this amazing
beautiful synergy,
showed up at the perfect time. Being an acupuncturist since 1994, when I was first licensed here in Florida, my experience with different kinds of other frequency devices and the healing body work and stuff that I've done in the past, it was like it all came together,
Yeah.
But so, like over the last 4 weeks, my organization has just like totally exploded. But that's not really the main reason. The main reason is the stories of people calling me up. Like one woman called me up before, and she's like, I had this carpal tunnel syndrome in my both wrists for years, and I couldn't sleep. And it would wake me up in the middle of the night. And I talked to her husband. He said, we tried everything with that. She would ice it before she went to bed and all this stuff. In 3 days, gone, sleeping like a baby. I mean, that's just one of numerous testimonies. I don't know if I invited her on here, so I'm not even sure if she's on here.
Maybe.
But anyway, so yeah, I mean, it works.
So here's a quick question for you. I'm using it. I don't really understand it though. Tell me, so I turn it on high and it gets hot. Is the hotter it gets, does it penetrate more? So does the heat, so I turn it on, it shoots a frequency. Is the heat the frequency, or is the heat make the frequency work better? That's what I don't.
The heat makes the frequency penetrate deeper into the bones. The heat is not the frequency. The frequency is terahertz. Because
so even if I turn it on low,
exactly,
it would still work pretty good.
Yeah, because for low, the second setting low, they say you use it over your eyes like this.
Yeah.
Just put a face in the eye. This is the low.
Got it. Is the blue light actually the frequency, or is it just to tell you where it's getting pointed?
It's just to tell you where it's getting pointed.
Okay.
The blue light is just like the guide to tell you where it's getting pointed. The terahertz frequency comes through the crystals in here, and I don't even know how they created it, but it's amazing. But then when you shoot it on high, and it goes all the way into the body from one side to the other. Now, what I do.
So when you turn it on high, does it shoot the frequency further in, or is it?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Shoots it further in and deeper.
So it shoots it further in, and it turns the heat on higher.
Right. Well, there's two settings. The first setting is high with low heat, right?
Yeah.
So that's like you still use that with low heat, and the third setting is high with high heat. Yeah. Right. So yeah. So you have to use what's comfortable for you. You know.
Yeah. Awesome. I will say this: certain unnamed people in the chat are commenting on, so we say, dramatic increase in libido.
It works. It definitely works. That really, that was something I noticed tremendously after like 8 days. And well, that was the first chance I had to experience that, but it was crazy. I mean, I literally had to ask myself if I took one of those little blue pills.
There you go.
That's all I'm going to say. It works.
That's enough. We appreciate you sharing that, because that's important. It's like, why can't we talk about that? And it's that important part of your life. And
it totally changed.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, very cool. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
You missed the key part of that, Stephen.
All right.
Yeah,
Ricky, we have Karen. Karen, where are you from?
I'm in Colorado.
Oh, awesome. Whereabouts?
Crestone, a very small town, mountain town.
Oh, interesting. I've lived in Aspen and Snowmass Village and Longmont and Platteville and Evergreen and Kittredge. So,
oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah. So now you're an acupuncturist also, or what is your practice?
I am. I'm not active right now. I'm still licensed, but I'm not practicing actively.
Cool. Well, tell us your experience here.
Well, first I wanted to just add something to what Ricky said. And as far as how close to go to the body and using high heat, all of that, I tell people that the initial goal is to get them to love it, that it should be the ultimate nurturing. It should feel absolutely wonderful. And I personally shift back and forth between high heat, medium. Well, I have the pro, so high heat, medium heat, and no heat, depending on what I'm treating, what area. And if it starts getting too hot, I just turn it down a little bit. But my goal for myself, and that I recommend, is that it just feel like an absolutely blissfully nurturing treatment. And I get up in the morning, it's the very first thing I do. I take a quick shower and get all warm and then start my treatment. And I consider it my ultimate nurture.
Love it. What benefits have you been seeing for yourself or your clients?
Well, as I say, I'm not practicing actively, but I have an area on the outside of my leg that was injured, and that was about 3 years ago. And ever since then, I've had a paresthesia, which is like a weird semi-numbness that when I touched it, I knew I was touching it, but it didn't feel like I was touching it, if you can picture that.
Yeah, interesting.
And I think it was 4 days later that paresthesia was completely gone, and the feeling came back. I still
you'd had that for 3 years?
For about 3 years, 2.5 or 3 years. I'm not really sure.
I'm sure you tried like everything for that, huh?
honestly, no, I hadn't done much for it at all because it never bothered me.
Oh,
But
interesting.
it was a side effect that of having that sensation come back that was pretty surprising because
Yeah.
I wasn't even focusing on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Super cool.
So yeah, so that was
Anything else you'd like to share?
well, the area where I had the injury had a redness around it. And that is still, it's been a month now, but that is still just gradually lightening up, which tells me that that probably was pretty darn deep.
Oh, interesting. Super
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And yeah, and I think my biggest thing is I feel like I am giving myself the biggest treat of all time every day, twice a day.
So everything, your whole body goes, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely love it. And my dog and I, we don't really fight over it, but she sits there and begs for it.
She's like more.
She likes to be first and have her treatment first, but I generally do it first and at the end because I don't do it as long for her.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
She just absolutely loves it.
It's fan. Pets are very, good about understanding good frequency.
Yeah.
And being gravitated towards it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, Tom, welcome. Whereabouts are you from, Tom?
Northwest Arkansas.
Awesome.
Home of Wally World, Walmart.
Cool. Well, tell me, Tom, what's going on with you? What changes have you seen in using this little magical device?
I received mine about 7 or 8 weeks ago, and I plugged it in. I felt when I started using it, I felt kind of like what Ricky said, almost like some kind of a shift that took place. That was like a sense of well-being, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
And as I continued to use it, and I didn't realize it, but about a week into it, let me back up a little bit. I have a condition in my neck, bulging disc, and that other thing that people get when they get older that's a degenerative disease.
Yeah.
And it's been very painful. I spent 2 years in a pain contract and had previously tried therapy. Didn't work. They stuck the needle in there to try to deaden the nerve. That didn't work.
Yeah.
And so 2 years of medications and that kind of thing. And I got off of that and just basically Advil,
Yeah.
Notice that since I've been using this device, I've only had one episode, and it was very brief, of this nerve discomfort that comes on. And I'm just blown away at the overall results. I feel good. I'm dealing with some other.
How long do you use it for a day?
I didn't. That's the thing. I don't use it every single day, and I should. I mean, we all should use it every day. For the maximum.
There's lots of stuff we should do every day, right? It's like there's a long list of things we should do every day. But if you do it a little bit, it's better. Obviously.
10 to 15 minutes every other day, or every 3 days.
Excellent.
And I'm telling you, I'm just blown away by my results and just absolutely over the top with everybody else. I love to help people, and you can't put a price tag on these testimonials, man. I mean,
yeah. Do you have a favorite story of someone you care about who's gotten results?
Well, yeah, my lady friend, actually, she's very skeptical.
Yeah.
She is not is impressed by anything, you got to prove it. Like, I'm from Missouri. She's not from Missouri, Minnesota, but anyway, California originally, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, she dealt with the same kind of pain or discomfort. In her neck. Yeah. That was basically a vertebrae that was out of alignment. Now she still deals with it, but it's a lot less than it was. And I will tell you that she purchased a unit, wanted to buy one after I let her use mine for a few days. That blew me away. I was pretty shocked.
Yeah, your hardest customer. Everything's downhill from here.
Exactly. She uses it every single day.
Love it.
I do it 45 minutes because I do it all over.
She does it all over her body. 45 minutes. Yeah, she has a knot on her back that's been reducing.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. All right. And we had a question about knees and joints. And I'm feeling you have a cool story. Tell me.
Yeah, so I'm in a habit of, I walk on the beach every day, and there's a flight of stairs that's 150 stairs up and then 150 down. And I really like the exercise of going up and down that, but my knees start hurting if I do too much.
Yeah.
It scares me because I don't ever want a knee replacement.
Yeah.
And so I've been doing the wand around circles on my knees, and I can do up and down is 1, and I can do 4 now.
Nice. How many could you do before your knee hurt?
Only 2. If I did
Only
more
2.
than, like, they
So you've
started
doubled it.
flaring up.
And how long have you been using the device to get that
3
result?
weeks.
3 weeks.
And many years ago, when I was a struggling single mother, I hit my elbow on this oak banister, and it immediately popped into a big, I know I broke something, but it was like,
Yeah.
I don't have insurance. There's nothing they can do anyhow. And so I never did anything about it.
Yeah.
And so now it's like, ooh, there's definitely scar tissue over that nerve. And I get like phantom stuff going on in my hand.
Yeah.
So I've been aiming that at my elbow, and I haven't been getting phantom pains.
Nice. Just gonna give you a general overhaul.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
All right, we have Joanne. She wants to share one more story before we're done. Go for it.
I hope my friend doesn't hear this online, but it was a story. It was a happy story, a happy ending story.
Yeah.
So she received her wand and was using, her and her husband were both using it for 2 days. And she called me up after the 3rd day. It was a Saturday or Sunday morning. And she shared with me that her and her husband had the best sex ever in the last 5 years. So,
I love it.
So they fell in love again, and they love the wand totally, but it's not something that either one of them are willing to share out loud. So
amazing. And that's important. That's massively important for people's long-term health of their marriage and everything, you know?
Oh yeah, you need that every weekend, not just every 5 years, right?
That's right. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. Love it.
Okay, thank you.